The reason you're not able to get stops right now in Madden 26 is simply because you don't know about enough secret tricks that'll make your life 10 times easier, like setting up your defense in under 2 seconds or how to stop corner outs. Luckily for you, those are just 2 of the 5 secrets I'll be sharing with you in this video, and they're going to get better as we go along, so you're not going to miss out on any of them. Let's jump right into it. Alright, so like I just said, there's an easy way to stop corner outs, and I'm actually going to show you 2 of my favorites. Let's jump right into it. Alright, so you can actually do this from any defense. Alright, so we're going to come into Tampa 2 here from nickel 2-4. We're going to put our flats on 25. We're going to put our curl flats on 5. Alright, then we are going to come into, like I said, Tampa 2, and we're going to call the defense like this. Now, you see how the flats dropping out to 25 yards here in this case. You need to make sure there's another defender underneath of him to be able to stop the underneath flat. So you're going to have your 25, and then you're going to have your 5 underneath. And a lot of people are going to call corner outs like this, where they're going to flood one side of the field, and so you're going to see when they go to take the snap, your double Mabel coverage is going to be right there sitting on the out route, and then obviously, like I'm about to show you, you're going to have your 25 just sitting and dropping on that corner out. All right, so we're going to put that curl flat on the field once again to be able to stop that flat route, and then you're going to see how we're going to have our man right there dropping number 2 all the way out to the 25-yard flat. So it's really a great way to stop both of them. And then obviously, like if they called like a flood to the other side of the field, so I guess something like this, right, where now you would just switch it. You would put this linebacker here in the curl flat, and so now you're going to be able to just user the crosser over the middle of the field. I know I said we're stopping corner outs here, but you'd be able to user the crosser, then get back to the middle of the field with your user. So that's really the first great way to stop corner outs, is simply by using a double Mabel coverage, where you're going to have a 20 or 25, and you're going to have a 5 underneath of it. But that's adjustments, right? You're going to have to make adjustments to do that. Luckily, there's a really easy way where you can kind of just put your controller down, and you're going to be able to stop corner outs. So you want to make sure with this, you have all 3 zone drop depths on default, because you're going to be running a match coverage based play. You're going to be calling cover 6, all right? So we're going to come into cover 6, and you're going to notice how you can use your Cashman right here, whoever's in this particular linebacker spot. And when they go to call this flood concept on the right side, you're going to see how, boom, we're just going to take this snap, and everything's going to be taken away. Look at how we're just, well, I mean, he just hit, but he's right there to break up that pass to Njoku on that flat. And then we're going to have our matching zones down here to take away this corner out shriek concept from them, right? So our outside quarter is going to sit on the corner out, just basically run the route for the guy. There's no space for him to be able to throw this. And then on the over the top, right, their shriek is taken away by our inside quarter. So they do a great job of passing these routes off, which is why I say, like, I didn't have to do anything. This is a no adjustment defense, right? If they call a corner out, they call a flood contact, you don't make any adjustments, you barely even have to use or anything, and you're just sitting right there to break that pass up over the top. So stopping corner outs becomes very easy when you just understand what types of coverages you have at your disposal, one of them being cover 2 double Mabel, the other one being cover 6. That's how I would do it. Alright, being able to stop corner outs is great, but if you don't even know about the best defensive settings to use before you even load up a game, you're still going to be lost. Let me show you the best ones to use. Alright, so when we come into defense settings and we talk about what are the best defense settings, okay, I'm going to break down what each of these do, okay? Auto flip defensive play. You want to make sure this is on most of the time. Very rarely, maybe 5% of the time, do I turn this off. The reason is when you turn it off, you basically can flip your play now, which a lot of people, some people say this is good. But the reason why you don't want to do this is because if you guess wrong, like right here, this is actually going to be the wrong guess. You see how my slot corner is now on the wrong side of the field because I didn't guess correctly. I didn't flip my play correctly to match the offense, right? And if they flipped their play and then I flipped my defense, right, we would still be wrong. And so the problem that's created is you're going to be right 100% of the time with your slot corner when you turn auto flip on. Like maybe 99.9, all right? Like maybe one random time it'll mess up. But here, it's like you're only going to be right, like at best 60% of the time, because people that are smart will just start flipping their play, maybe based on hash mark something else. And the problem that gets created is now if I want to man up the guy that's right over the top of the slot receiver, now it's my linebacker instead of my slot corner, who probably can match up better speed-wise or coverage-wise, right? Not to say that this guy can never do a good job, but you just want to be able to have your defense aligned with the offense, where your slot corners lined up over their slot receiver, and then you allow everything else to kind of play off of that. So that's really the first setting. I know that that's kind of a misconception that people maybe don't know about what that setting really does, but it basically just allows you to control your slot corner or just let EA do it, which again, I would just let EA do it when you turn auto flip on, right? You want to make sure you have your cornerback matchups on balance so that your defense never crisscrosses when they know huddle. I've talked about that many times in other defensive tutorials, but defensive motion response disabled so that your zones don't realign like you're in man coverage. Please make sure you have this on. Option keys, these aren't too terribly important just because a lot of people don't really call these plays, but it just kind of depends on what you want to guard. Do you want to focus on the quarterback with your user? If so, then I would use aggressive so that you can go get him, then he's going to be left open, and then vice versa. And then really the same thing with the RPO stuff. But this is the most important thing down here, safety depth, right? I talked about zone drops in the first segment where we talked about corner routes, right? So it's kind of dependent on what you want to do. Maybe 25-5, maybe go all default. Kind of just depends on, again, what you want to do. But safety depth, right? You want to be able to stop seam passes. You don't want to just allow them to just hike throw to RB and be able to catch the ball. So when you have your safety depth on close with your width on pinch, you're going to see when we hike the ball and try to throw this pass up the seam, he's going to be right there every single time to just knock the pass away. The reason why is because you have other players in the field, right? You have this guy, but you also have this safety over the top, right? So this airspace in between these two guys is so small that they can't fit a pass in there. This is going to be really tight coverage. And the last thing that I'll say with this safety alignment is even if they're this close to the line of scrimmage, if they try to hike throw and then lob one over the top, right, you're still going to be there. They're not just going to be able to run right past you. So really, those are the best settings. Safety depth and close really has no downside, right? You're not going to get beat over the top unless you have like an 84 speed safety. But for the most part, it's going to be very, very consistent. We're able to knock those passes away and play really great defense because of it. All right, those first two tips don't even compare to the final three that I have for you in this video. So make sure you're subscribed because I break down defensive tutorials like this every single day on Madden 26. You're not going to miss out. But if you're enjoying the video so far, comment free. I'll send you a free guide to dominate Madden 26. Let's jump right back into it. All right, the next thing that I want to show you is how to stop RPOs. You have to make sure the offense is a little bit uncomfortable, and when they can just throw RPOs, it's too easy for them. Let me show you how to do that. All right, so when we talk about stopping RPOs, there's a couple of things that are important. You have to understand that obviously it's a run pass option. So you have to be able to both stop the run and stop the pass at the same time, right? So here's what I'd say. With the run aspect, it's very easy to stop the RPO run because the blocks aren't very good. Some of the linemen are gearing up to block for the pass, and then some of them are blocking for the run. So it's kind of easy. All you really need to do is stand 4 yards over the guard here, all right? And you're just gonna see how I'm just gonna loop around and just, I'm barely holding my controller, holding it with one hand, and I'm able to make that play. It's so easy. All you have to do is really follow kind of where the gaps are in their blocks. Like you can just see how they double team for no reason, right? And you're just able to loop around, find the gap, right? So I would say stopping versus stopping an inside zone versus stopping an RPO inside zone, it's way easier to stop the RPO just because the linemen don't really know what's going on. Same thing, and you're able to see it's literally the exact same play. That's not an instant replay. I just did it again, right? It's just really easy to stop the RPO run. But the pass is really your biggest problem because, especially if they come into a 3-by-1, they can just hike the ball and throw this pass out here pretty easily and turn that into a big game. So you're going to say, BLT, how do you stop both of them at the same time? Well, first, you have to stop the run with your user, like I just showed you. But the adjustments to stop the pass are very simple, right? Just come into a defense like this, cover 2, man up the guy who you think is going to be getting the bubble. As you get more experience playing the game, seeing different formations, you're going to notice, probably who's getting the RPO the most of the time. When you're in a trick formation, it's obviously going to be the inside receiver so that the other two can get up and block. But so just man this guy up, shade your coverage down so you have hard flats on the field, and then press RB and right stick up to pass it. Now you're going to have basically two guys looking right at that RPO man, and really since you have two, it's very rare that both of them kind of miss their assignment here. One of them probably will, but both of them won't. All right, so you see we have our hard flat here. Then we have the manned up with, you know, the linebacker here. I'm not really going to worry about stopping the run just for the sake of trying to throw the ball with my second controller, but you're just going to see how we're sitting right on it. Very, very easy stuff because we're in a cover 3 defense. We basically force that this receiver right here to block our slot corner in the curl flat, and that's what I mean, where one of them will probably get blocked, but the other one's just going to be able to just run in free because he's manned up. The key with this, though, is the pass commit. Because, like I showed you earlier, right, the run defense, all you'd have to do is loop around and run through that gap. So you're going to force them to pass the ball. But because you're pass committed, this man isn't looking at the run at all. He's going to strictly be looking to stop this RPO pass. So essentially, RPO defense, I actually like when they call RPOs, especially when I know they're coming, because it's like you're going to loop around, shoot the gap with your user, force them to pass, but then you're already going to have a man right there to stop that pass aspect. So again, quick recap, loop around, shoot the gap with your user, stop the run, then man the guy up to stop the pass. RPO defense made simple. All right, if you've played online at any point this year, you've been playing against Gun Bunch X Nasty. Let me show you a secret adjustment to stop their favorite play. All right, so that play that we're going to be talking about here is going to be spacing switch, and I'm about to show you why, all right? But the coverage that we want to run to stop this is not zone coverage. I actually like calling cover 1 robber press, all right? This is kind of the best defense, but I'm about to show you what you're probably experiencing. When they call this play, especially if you run man coverage, even if you run zone, it's hard to stop. But when you run man, this halfback route is basically a glitch route where he's going to get a speed boost out of the backfield. If you were to call a regular table route or a running back flat, whatever you want to call it, right, he's not going to be able to just speed boost out of the backfield. Like, he just gets a speed boost, and then you're also able to speed boost out of there again with your player if you know how to do the move, tapping LT. But it's a huge problem, right? So really the adjustment that you want to make is manning up your outside corner onto the receiver, or excuse me, onto the running back. And then I would take my linebacker here and man him up. Just switch the assignments, right? So you're going to see now what's going to happen is he's going to be manned up, but you just can't do that. This isn't just going to be good enough on its own. It's going to be better for you, right? But he's still going to, oh, well, I guess he broke the pass up. But I've been playing the game. It's like sometimes he just doesn't even recognize him, and he still gets out of the backfield and gets that speed boost. So let's see if that happens right here. I mean, if you don't have to do this adjustment I'm about to show you, that would be great. But I'm just saying most of the time you do. We're going to take the snap right here. We wait on it. He breaks it up again. Good for him. But for the most part, to make this the most consistent, I mean, you guys trust me in the things that I say, right? So what you want to do instead is actually switch it onto him and give you the most user control. Because like I'm telling you, it's like sometimes he's still going to be able to catch the ball, speed boost out of there, and pick up a big gain. So instead, what you need to do is you need to switch it onto him. So if you want to start on Harrison Smith, for example, you're just going to, when they take the snap, just switch stick here and then come down. It's going to be way more reliable, way more consistent, and honestly, you're probably going to get some more pick sixes just because no one's really going to expect you to just, you know, switch stick onto their table route immediately and take it away. But the great thing too is you can switch it off. So you can just come down right here, and if someone else was getting open, you could then switch it onto someone else. So really stopping this play really just comes down to your ability to switch stick. So again, you're going to man up this receiver, right? And then just basically switch their assignments. So man up your outside corner onto their running back, pass commit your defense. And so now when you go to take the snap, boom, come down. And then if you want to switch stick back to here, back to there, like you can really do whatever you want. So stopping spacing switch really just comes down to your ability to switch stick. It's really not that hard. All right, and that last secret trick that I want to break down is how you can set your defense up in under 2 seconds. You guys stayed to the end to watch, and I want to save the best tip for last. Let me show you. All right, so we're going to have a cover 2 defense, all right? And we know cover 2 maybe has some weaknesses, right? It's a good coverage, but you can get beat up the sideline sometimes, especially against bunch and trips formations, right? You can get beat up the middle if your mid-read defender doesn't get far enough back. So it's like you want to be able to adjust your coverages depending on what formation, maybe they audible, you want to change coverages, all right? So how do you set your defense up like pro players, how they do it so fast, right? And it really is this thing that we call quick adjustments, right? Because basically what you're able to do is you're gonna see, I'm gonna do it right here, is now you have a totally different defense setup, right? I could change it to be something more like this. This is now cover 3 from the same cover 2 shell, right? No one moved. We just completely shifted our defense, and I did that pretty quickly. Well, how do you do that, BLT? Well, okay, here's the thing. You need to understand position groups and where, what buttons you have to press to do each position group. So D-pad right twice is gonna open the linebacker adjustments. So you're gonna have 1 to 3 linebackers. This formation has 2, and so you get X and A, right? And then if you wanted to do the defensive line, you would press D-pad left twice. So it's really just the muscle memory of knowing which position group you need to press to get onto what. And then you see you have X, Y, A, and B, where you can, click on one of them and then it opens all of their adjustments. This is another muscle memory thing where you have to see which, adjustment is what button. But then secondary, all your slot corner, your safeties, your corners, it's going to be pressing Y twice. You press Y twice, then you see X, Y, L, B, A, and B, right? And so you can press them. I could put my corner in an outside third, change it to something like that, right? So you have a lot of freedom. Then I could just put them back in a cloud flat. So again, it just comes down to muscle memory of understanding what position group is what buttons and then what adjustments come from which button presses, right? So I understand that if I press Y twice, then I press X, and then I press left stick down, I'm gonna be able to put my outside corner in a cloud flat on the left side, right? And so again, if I want to drastically switch coverages, right, I want to set up more of a cover 3 defense, cover 3 cloud, whatever you want to call it, I can do something like this. And then I can man up Jerry Jeudy, right, with my linebacker. And so now I have a completely different defense. And again, this is very valuable when you have to change defenses on the fly. If they decide to flip formations, if they decide to flip their formation, or they decide to change, right, being able to quick adjust, it's very important. So I would say it's pretty simple. It takes practice. That's about all the explanation I can really do. It's like position groups, mastering which buttons do what, pressing D-pad left twice opens the defensive line, pressing it right twice opens the linebackers, and then pressing Y twice will open those safeties. So get in practice mode, lab up your quick adjustments, because it's gonna help you set your defense up way faster than just doing this, having to click onto guys and then put them in zones. You're just gonna get quick snap very easily doing that. All right, if you learned anything from those 5 defensive secrets, again, I encourage you to go down below and hit that subscribe button. I break down defensive secrets like this every single day on Madden 26. You're not going to miss out on any of them. But if you want this entire video, all the secrets in written form, go to the link down below and get started with Madden University for only $1. Please don't let $1 be the reason you still don't understand what you're doing on defense here at Madden 26. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.